Right, welcome to the Orchestra Concept series, episode 2. So, in this, we're going to talk about tasks. Tasks in Orchestra are very similar to tasks in a workflow orchestration package like Airflow. It's kind of like the smallest unit of work. It's something which can get executed, and it has a status, it has a time on which it starts, and, it can have dependencies. So, for example, you can cause a task to get skipped if a task which it has a dependency on that's upstream fails, for example. There are some nice characteristics that tasks have. So there are a set number of categories that can cause a task to fail. But I think the biggest difference between tasks in Orchestra and tasks as you know them, well, I guess there are two. The first is that a task is tied to the concept of an integration job, which we'll speak about in a future video. But basically, it means that rather than execute any arbitrary piece of code, as you would in Airflow, right, where you almost have a decorator and say, okay, here's my task, I'm going to run it. We give you a set number of tasks. So, for example, we've built an integration to dbt Cloud, and therefore we give you the opportunity to execute a dbt Cloud job. And obviously these tasks can be parameterized, which is obviously helpful. But it's not the case that you can execute absolutely any code using a task in Orchestra. That might change if we support the ability to run Python, but that's not what we should talk about. The second thing is that tasks are compound tasks. So in Airflow, if you wanted to trigger something, monitor it, and maybe fetch some metadata afterwards, you would need 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even 6 Airflow tasks. All of this monitoring logic, all of the metadata gathering logic, all of the logic to understand that metadata and correlate it with various other metadata points that we have are abstractions which are hidden away from the end user. This basically removes the need for data teams to write boilerplate code to do these sorts of boring operations and saves people time. However, it also means that when all of your tasks are complete, you have a much richer data set to use for debugging and insight and maintenance. So that's tasks. Next time we'll talk about integrations.